Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into some really intriguing stuff.
Definitely. We're looking at an audio submission, right, from third phase of Moon.
Yeah, exactly. Dated May 19th, 2016. And in it, Blake Cousins and Brent, they claim they found two, well, mind-blowing anomalies.
Using Google Maps and Google Earth, which, are amazing tools.
Totally. Lets you explore pretty much anywhere, often with older images, too.
So our goal here, our mission for this deep dive, is really to unpack these claims. We'll look at the imagery they describe, their interpretations,
Right.
and think about what it all might mean, either scientifically or just, how people see patterns. We'll dig into the details they focused on.
And these two, they definitely make you think. First, something weird near Area 51.
Ah, the classic.
The very secretive base, yeah.
Yeah.
Always linked with weird planes or, other things.
UFOs, basically.
Right. And then we jump across the globe.
Antarctica.
And an alleged ancient pyramid popping out of the ice. Yeah. So, get ready. This is where it gets pretty interesting. Let's dig in.
Okay.
All right. First up, Area 51. So the source revisits the area using Google Maps, specifically images from 2011.
Okay, got it.
And Blake Cousins, he spots what he calls a strange dark cloud right near the base.
A cloud? Like weather?
Well, that's the thing. He says it looks unusual. And importantly, there are no, fire trucks or anything. Nothing to suggest a normal brush fire. His immediate feeling, he says, is something happened very fast, very explosive.
Wow, okay. Straight to explosion.
He even wonders aloud, did something crash?
And Brent, what was his take?
Well, Brent jumps right in. He doesn't think it's a natural cloud at all.
No, why not?
He says it's too low, looks more like a big smoke trail.
Okay, so not weather, but smoke.
Exactly. And he goes further. He suggests maybe a possible experimental craft went down here and exploded on impact.
An experimental craft. Okay, that fits the Area 51 narrative, I suppose.
He calls the scene devastation. You can really hear they think something major happened.
Right. They sound convinced.
And they both really stress how unique this thing looks. They say there's nothing that resembles this strange anomalous cloud anywhere else nearby.
So it stands out.
Big time.
Yeah.
For them, this is top-tier evidence.
Which is interesting, isn't it?
How so?
Well, just how quickly they leap from seeing something unusual on a satellite image to such a specific, dramatic explanation, an exploding experimental craft.
Right. It's a big jump.
It really makes you wonder what else about that image made them so certain, or, what wasn't considered.
Other possibilities.
Exactly. Analyzing satellite data, especially from back in 2011, experts usually look for other signs, atmospheric data, heat signatures, maybe images over several days or weeks.
Things that weren't in the source audio, presumably.
Right. Without that context, it's easier for natural things, or even just quirks in the image itself to get mistaken for something explosive.
Yeah. A good point. Satellite images can be tricky sometimes. Resolution, weather interference.
All that stuff plays a role.
Okay, so from that mystery in the desert, our source then takes us somewhere completely different, the opposite extreme.
Antarctica. The ice continent.
Exactly. Where apparently a new discovery is potentially rewriting ancient history.
Okay, I'm listening.
This submission is from someone they call Orv. And he sent in imagery of what he calls the Antarctic Pyramid.
The Antarctic Pyramid, okay.
And the claim is basically that because snow and ice are melting down there.
Which they are.
Right. This massive structure has just been revealed, like it was hidden before.
Wow. Okay. And what does it look like?
Well, Blake Cousins says he's just seen what he's seen, But when they put the image next to, the Great Pyramid of Giza.
The one in Egypt.
Yeah. He says it looks very, very similar indeed. Shows a clear pyramidal shape.
That's quite a comparison, Giza in Antarctica.
It is. Visually, you can see why they'd say that, at least initially.
And Brent's reaction.
Oh, he's blown away. Calls it tremendous out of sight.
He sounds pretty excited.
Definitely. And he immediately links it to climate change. Global warming, melting glaciers, he says. He speculates that, in the next years to come, we're going to be seeing a lot of discoveries as the ice keeps melting.
Which, that part's plausible. Melting ice does reveal things, but whether it reveals pyramids?
Right. That's the leap.
It's worth remembering that nature can carve out some pretty amazing shapes. Glaciers, erosion.
Yeah.
They can create very geometric-looking rock formations.
Like nunataks, is that the word?
Exactly, nunataks. peaks sticking out of the ice, sometimes they can look surprisingly pyramid-like.
Okay, but the source dives deeper into this specific one. They talk about its age, its
Oh,
origin.
yeah. What do they suggest?
They mention seeing signs of erosion, which to them means it's been there a very, very long time.
Okay. Erosion happens to mountains, too, though.
True, but they say it was hidden underneath the snow for many years, maybe tens of thousands of years, if not longer.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah, potentially dating back before the Ice Age.
Wow, that's really far back.
Which leads them to the big question, naturally. What ancient civilization could have built something like this?
A civilization in Antarctica before the Ice Age. That would rewrite history, all right.
Then they get into the details of the structure itself. They point out maybe an outcropping near the bottom. They think it could be a possible inset of another pyramid, a smaller version.
Like nested pyramids.
Sort of, yeah. And the peak, they say, looks geometric in shape with sharp edges.
Sharp edges.
Which makes them conclude it cannot be natural. It has to be geometric design uncovered.
Again, it's that jump from visual observation to a very firm conclusion. Cannot be natural.
Yeah.
From a scientific perspective, you'd need so much more than just one image, right? You'd want ground surveys, radar, maybe actual rock samples.
To see if it's carved or just rock.
Exactly. It's easy to see patterns, especially in blurry or distant images. Pareidolia, they call it. Seeing faces in clouds or pyramids in mountains.
But just like the Area 51 cloud, they stress how unique this thing is.
It stands out from the surrounding.
Totally. They say nothing comes up that resembles anything like a pyramid,
Yeah.
the nearby mountains. It obviously does stand out.
Okay, so it is visually distinct, according to them.
Which then leads them to speculate about its purpose.
Ah, here we go.
Could it be a king's tomb? Imagine unknown treasures, hidden secrets.
So the whole Indiana Jones package?
Pretty much. And then the biggest question?
Let me guess. Aliens.
You got it. Could this be evidence of ancient alien technology never before seen until now?
There it is. The ultimate explanation for the unexplained. For some.
It really shows how excited they were by this.
You can tell that level of speculation comes from real excitement.
Yeah, they wrap up that section calling it quite exciting, saying they're quite amazed. This discovery, they feel, is one of the special ones.
Special ones, yeah.
So, okay, we've looked at these two pretty wild claims from back in 2016. The Area 51 explosion cloud.
And the Antarctic pyramid reveal.
What do we make of all this? What's the takeaway?
Well, we heard about the strange dark cloud near Area 51, right? Interpreted almost immediately as a crashed experimental plane causing devastation.
Yeah, quite the interpretation.
And then the geometric shape in Antarctica compared straight to Giza, possibly tens of thousands of years old.
Or even alien tech.
Or even alien tech, according to the source. So definitely bold claims. And our goal here wasn't really to say, yes, they're right, or no, they're wrong.
Right, more about the process.
Exactly. How are these things presented? How are they interpreted? And what does that tell us about maybe how we all look at visual information, especially unusual stuff?
It's true. These images, especially from places like Google Maps or Google Earth, they really do make you wonder what else might be out there hidden away.
For sure.
But it also, it makes you think about how we look at things, the assumptions we bring, right?
Yeah, absolutely. How much is observation and how much is interpretation based on what we already believe or expect to see? Critical thinking is key with this stuff.
Especially when it's visually compelling, but not backed up by other evidence.
And thinking ahead, we're getting more and more satellite imagery all the time. It's more accessible than ever.
And the planet itself is changing. Ice melting, like they mentioned.
Exactly. So who knows what kinds of phenomena or maybe even actual ancient secrets might come to light in the coming years. And maybe more importantly, how will our understanding of science, geology, atmosphere, even just how our brains see patterns shape how we interpret those future discoveries? That's something to think about.